stream live now. We are live from the end of the day. Oh boy, am I late, because that was a cluster truck getting back. Holy. Anyways, now that we are ready, we've got to get hopping into phase 4 here. We are going to start out with our planning so that we can get all the topics in that we are looking to implement over the next few days. We will probably have another about 10 phases. So that should take us maybe a week and a half, maybe, depending on how big they are. But we've got some important features coming up in this next phase. We have basically persistence, which is persistence in player accounts. We have some map editing, so that means I'll actually get to build the world out, and we won't just have static everything for everywhere. We will have some out of bounds decor, so we actually see something other than just darkness out there. That one's less important, but I think it's going to be a really big impact. So, also realizing that my stream is named wrong. That is unfortunate. Let me go make sure I change that everywhere I can. Let me figure out how to do that, because I have no clue how to do that in most places. We are... It's YouTube. YouTube's at fault here, man. Why is everywhere else is looking like they're named correct, and then YouTube is just being... Yeah, everywhere else says phase 40 or phase 46. Oh man, we are flying, man. I didn't even realize we went through another 42 phases. YouTube, what are you doing? My guy, this is not what the stream is named. How do we get to... if we hop over to YouTube Studio, maybe we're looking in there. We got our current dashboard. No, content, live. Okay, I found our current live project. We are day 46, and let me just copy this off of one of the streams that actually worked. Because the other ones, somehow YouTube didn't, even though it's primarily logged into YouTube, and I changed the name, and man, I can't believe this shit. Alright, we should be good on that one. So we are actually ready to get started. Let me get all of this off of our screen. I'm even gonna pull oh, what the heck? I'm even gonna pull up the game right now so that we've got we got something we can look at and run around while we whenever I gotta show something off. Go run/command. Get the server up and running. Come on. What you doing? Start up. Go. Server. I need you. All right, there we go. Now we've got to go on the client. And we have gameplay. Let's go. I don't know how this got desynced on location again, but I think that's gonna be about right there. So that's lined now. So if we just take a quick look around, we've got our grass in here still, which still doesn't look the best. We got Jack, we got some walls. We got a herb, we got tree up here, we've got inventory, equipment, stats, skills, and we've got, more importantly, we have our next phase ideation. Actually, I'm going to throw all of the other refactor and audit things into. There we go. Now we got next phase ideation. This is going to be fun. So here is everything that we put together that we plan on implementing here. We're going to figure out our out of bounds details, is what I was talking about earlier with the trees and roughage outside of the map. That'll be basically, if I pull up the game, we're going to be looking at everything. So this is all inbound stuff. We're going to be putting a bunch of stuff out of bounds, or at least we're going to have stuff dynamically generating out of bounds so that it's not just a blank field, because why can't I just keep running, right? So that's one thing that we're going to be doing. To do that, we're going to make it configurable per zone. We would rather than just render as darker. That's what I was just saying about. We're going to dynamically and procedurally generate this within the player's view outside of the walkable areas. It's going to be solid environmental decor. It's going to be non-harvestable objects, so the player's not going to feel that need to collect it, and you're not going to try to mine through the walls now, right? So we're going to be looking at large trees, craggy trees, thorn bushes, large rocks, super deep water, waterfall. I don't know, other things that mega mushrooms, cliff sides, you know, that sort of stuff. Anyways, it's going to be all non-harvestable stuff. We're going to be able to be placed within the map as well, so that we can use it as sort of the uncollectible stuff, just the general purpose decor. So we're going to be adding that, and in order to make good use of that, we're going to want to have a map editor. Now, this isn't going to be for the out-of-bounds stuff, but this is going to be for all the inbound stuff, so we can set the bounds, so we can set what spawns where. We're going to build a map editor. That's mainly for me. That has nothing to do with the players. I'm going to be completely honest. I want it because I don't want to be modifying JSON files or YAML files, or I don't want to be modifying the configuration files, basically, in order to actually build the world, because my brain doesn't work like that. I want to see it. Anyways, moving on past that, we're going to be implementing save-ins. Save-ins? Holy, I can't speak. Must have been a real long day. Sure was. Anyways, we're going to be implementing saving. This is going to enable logins, enable saving, enable the reloading. Right now, we have a whole bunch of saves. If I go and take a look at them, we're going to have a whole bunch of saves up here in the data. No. Where's saves? It's in data, saves, there we go. Players, you're gonna notice we got a whole bunch of players here. Got a whole bunch of players. Anyways, we don't need most of them, but we do want to be able to log back into the same player so that we get the same inventory, so that we get to test things out. And I don't have to keep leveling up every time I want to test something, right? So I'm just gonna clean some things up as well. We don't need a whole bunch of these old eras either. They're kind of useless. We only really need the last one. We can implement some cleanup stuff for that later anyways, but ignore that for now. So we're going to be implementing saving with login, saving, reloading, very important features. This is gonna connect into whatever login features that I want, but for right now, it's just gonna be just username, no username, password, OAuth, etc. This is just gonna be mainly take a username to log in right now. Need to be ready to support use of OAuth. Need to be able to log in with just username. For now, for testing, if username doesn't exist, create new account for it. Set up easy swap. Needs to be designed to be easy swap between the two. We'll be coming back to this anyways. So, beyond that, once we got those things in, we're going to be doing the mob reworks as well. We're going to be making sure that the some of the mobs got some more damage, some more HP. We got to make sure that they give the correct XP on kill. Basically, the chupacabras can't be the only dangerous mob. Man, like, the boss is a joke. The boss is a joke. The shades are a joke. The wolves are a joke. The goblins don't really do anything. Like, none of it has any uniqueness to it that's going to sort of play in with the pinball mechanics. You don't really see any of that right now. Cooldowns are really, really slow right now. Things don't really do damage. They don't really have force. They don't have multiple projectiles. Basically, it's really boring right now. We're going to need to get that fixed up. More damage, more HP. More projectiles, more abilities, more damage, projectile abilities, faster cooldowns. What else did I mention? Basically, we're going to be fixing things up so that they're actually, you know, worth fighting, worth playing. Anyways, then we're going to also be doing multiple resources. We're going to add more herb types. We're going to add more ore types. We're going to add more wood types. Birch, oak, pine. Birch, oak, pine, maple. I'm trying to think of other things, other trees. These might be fine for now. More ore types, so we're definitely gonna have iron. We're definitely gonna have other. I haven't really thought of special ores yet. Church of the Calcum. I was really like Calcum. Or Calcum? Or Calcum? Or Calcum? I don't know, something like that. Adamantite, Mithril, you name all the mystical ones. I'm gonna come up with other names. I want to have multiple now. More herb types. I have, like, I'm blanking on this. I keep wanting to just call them herbs. Well, I was gonna say cactus, but like we need stuff for like forest area. I am gonna add cactus. Raspberry. Yes, I know this is not the correct spelling of raspberry. Bramble. Bramble. Rasbramble. Raspberry bramble. I'm basically just trying to think of a couple of different plants that I can put in here for regular. So we're gonna have some regular ones and some hazard ones. Regular, hazard. Thorn willow. Why can't I think of a... oh no. Why can't I think of poison ivy, poison oak, ivy thistle. Poison thistle. Yeah, let's go with poison thistle. That's a good combination of poison ivy and thistle. Thorn willow, poison thistle, and Dragon spine. Sure. Herbs. Buttercup, raspberry, and cactus. Doesn't matter the types. Anyways, so we're gonna add multiple resources. That's basically what we're doing there. I heard something proc there, but I don't see Retro AI. Good luck, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you're still around, here's a sneak peek at what's going on right now. I just kind of loaded up to see. Don't really have much in terms of sprites at the moment, but I've thrown a couple in that I've just sort of built here and there. Anyways, back to the next phase. So UI cleanup, we're gonna have to clean up the skills UI a bit, add some of the additional skills. There's 4 of them that still need to be added, being fishing, cooking, bravery, and piety. In the render HUD, we're gonna have to break skills into their own configuration files, because currently they don't have that. They're all kind of just hard-coded in there and listed out, and that's not going to be great for future developability. We have to update a lot of the examine and text UI. Just right now, let me pull this up. Right now, if I examine these herbs, it kind of just shows up across the entire bottom of the screen. Not very helpful. That's kind of useless. So we're gonna have to take a look at that. We're gonna have to clean up the UI. We're gonna have to make we're gonna have to add a chat box, since we're gonna be able to log in with actually different accounts now, or different logins. We're gonna have to add a chat box so that we can speak between our different clients. Then we're gonna have to so in order to do that, we're gonna have to enable the player typing and communication. So before we get planning this out, there is one other thing that I forgot that we need to do now. We need to have Claude go and reference our architecture documents, and then reference our actual implementations, because we just went and did our big refactor. So that means that the architecture diagrams and planning is not necessarily reflective of the actual implementation now. Now that we have done the refactor, we need to ensure the architecture documents are up to date. Review the documents in, where are they? They are in design. In design, verify they line up with the actual code implementations. Update them where they have been changed. Update them where they've been changed so that we have alignment between our plans and our between the defined plan and architecture. Between them. Okay, anyways, so since we're sending Claude off on a mission there, we are going to actually pull up the game. Hey, where's my game? Where's my game? I think I have to close it. All right, gonna close it and reopen it, because apparently it bugged. So that means that it is playtest time. Let's go. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get some gold to grab a pickaxe. Easiest way to do that is for me to go and use the tree, chop the tree. We are a lumberjack after all, so that should be fairly, I do like how often you fail to cut the tree, at least this tree at level 1. I should probably take note of this when we do a lot of the mob balancing as well, because I think we'll have to balance some of the gathering. So maybe that's something that we throw into the document as well. So here we have our mob rework, gathering rework, failure rate settings. Actually, this isn't a gathering rework. This is just under multiple resources. More herb types, more wood, more ore types, more wood types. Failure rate setting updates. XP gain updates. Balancing. Level distribution for the resources. Level 1, level 1. Let's do level 10. Level 1, level 10, level 20. Level 35. Let's do that. We can basically figure out what levels we want each of these to be for as well. Iron is just going to be basic level 1, and then Orichalcum is going to be like level 10. Really, this is just there for now. If I could think of like what's aluminum ore actually called? Aluminum ore name. Bauxite. What if I just search list of ore names and metal type? Aluminite. Hematite, chalcoprite, sphalerite, galena. I like that name. Galena, sylvanite. Where's tungsten? Tungsten ore name. Wolfram, really? Wolframite. Hey, that's kind of cool. So, that's fine. Anyways, we'll have a couple of these. I'm just kind of looking through ones that I like as a sound. Level 35. What was Galena again? Galena was like lead. Cobaltite. Level 50. Level 60. 110. 25. 40. 55. We can rename these at any time. It's not a worry. I totally am going to rename these as well. I might add some other random letters into them or change some spelling just so that they're not perfectly aligned with what the real ore names are. Hazards. Level 30. Level 60. 55. Level 65. 30, 50, 65. Here we go. Then Buttercup is going to be level 1. Level 15. Level 10. level 25. These probably need to be distributed a little bit better, but for now, these will be good starting resource levels. So I don't think there's too much more that we're going to have to really outline for these. All right, I haven't really been paying attention to what's going on over here either. So what's been added in here? A bit of the package structure updating, client state updating for all of the different parts of the state, the world state as well. Outbound, so the poll input, inbound, still using the background go routine, a little bit more descriptions, delta correct, zone and tint states, okay. And then the server architecture has really just updated the folder structure. Some of the information about the zone transitions. Okay, so the zone transitions were added into it. Oh, hey, we've got a full summary here. Perfect. So, no stale references remain, but the build is clean. Here's a summary of what was updated across the 3 architecture documents. Server file listing, added zones, interact NPC, interact gather, inventory, shop, XP, gear, modify, death, tick, unmarshal, and handle, check zone transitions and broadcast positions. Client file listing, added all refactor introduced files. Client ability, client net, sync world, sync combat, sync UI, tick abilities, tick client, shop, bank, equipment, modify panel, death options, bindings, tick loop code, added check zone transitions, removed the non-existent broadcast deltas, noted route tick result, includes position, broadcast, call order table, added step 2 for check zone transitions, corrected step 6 for route tick result, tick data flow diagram, added the check zone transition, stage replaced broadcast. So overall, the architecture one. Okay, so this is just the additional documents. Tick loop code, check zone transitions. Okay. Call order, added step 2 for check zone transitions and route tick results. Tick data flow diagram, added check zone transitions, stage replaced, broadcast deltas, route tick result, tree, channel comments and session maps. So we added the broadcast delta, the broadcast position, send correct to send to player. Client render loop replaced the outdated 16 millisecond ticker loop stub with the actual Epic Engine update draw pattern. Design and client architecture package structure full rewrite, added all new files and accurate per file descriptions. Client state struct updated to match the real client fields with net connection added. So replaced some of the connection channels with net connection. Added connection, role animation, zone, XP, and panel fields. Client world struct updated to match actual fields. On world, not on client, added channels, floating text, ability mods, etc. Network section, fixed channel names, updated delta handler table with correct file locations and handler names, updated go routine diagram. Delta correct description, updated to reflect the deferred blend correction pattern. Oh, I'm out of water. Zone state section, fixed zone buildings. Building payload was game rectangle. QuickTime section, updated type name, and then design architecture added section for item recipe skills sprite saves. Added notes, which refers to just the where we're making the notes for the. Okay, so Next things next, we're just gonna git commit, documentation updating, and ideation. I have started a write-up of what we will be covering for the next set of implementations. Read this document. Read the what's it called specifically? Read the design documents. Create a new set of implementation. Create a new folder for the implementation in notes with a I think it's the implementation plan. And implementation plan that outlines all of the changes to be made, the order of changes required, the outstanding questions, and a rough set of phases for it. This will be the document that is updated, edited to ensure all required information. The phase step will be created from reference, initial, secondary, tertiary folder structures. So what we're doing now is we're taking our phase ideation. This is the list of everything that we want to get done in the next phase of implementations, and we are converting that into one more detailed document. This more detailed document is going to raise a lot of other questions that we're going to have to answer for how they interact with things, how they interact with things, what context is missing for it, what decisions we still need to make, what trade-offs we're going to have to take as well. And it's basically going to give us our plan for, or our sort of breakdown, which will develop more in-depth plans for each implementation step from this. So this is going to be the first step of that. This is the part that we're going to have to make sure that we're very happy with before we move on from here, because it's going to be the main driver of everything. So with that being said, there is going to be a lot of reading ahead here. I should probably go get myself some more water, because this is going to be, I'm going to be in for it here. So I'm going to go do that now, and I will be right back with water. Okay, I am back, and we have chopped the tree down. How much wood do we have? Oh, we got plenty. We can get tons of gold for this. Tons of gold. Let me just open shop. Get a pickaxe. How much gold do we have left over? 54 gold! We're rich! Anyways. Oh, we missed? That's crazy. Grab the gold. Yeah, I don't like these sprites. But it's nice to see a couple of sprites in here. I will normally just work on a sprite when I am kind of bored at the end of the day. I don't know if that's really going to be happening right now because, oh, today was a long day. Today was a very long day, and it's not over yet. Woohoo, level 2, look at that, we are combat level 2. Yeah, we're gonna have to readdress the level up rewards, or level up the stats. That'll probably be part of the actual mob reworks, because, like, look, this wolf doesn't really do much. This is actually probably one of the more balanced mobs as well. And considering that's one of the more balanced mobs, that's really saying something. Probably still due from having some more HP. We might want to also make it so that HP bars are visible. Yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to the most from this is making sure that we get the map editor in. I very much want to be able to change what the zones look like and really get a bird's eye view of the zones, move things around without having to touch the pixel, well, it's not pixel coordinates, it's technically tile coordinates. Either way, I don't want to have to deal with that. Because this zone in particular, I really want to rework this zone so that it... Anyways, I really want to rework this zone so that it's more of a donut shape. So it'll probably be a larger square, and then in the middle, like here, I will draw it on the screen. So it's going to be more like... so we're going to make it a larger square. Assume this is like double the width or double the length. There's going to be an area in the middle that you're not going to be able to get into. And then we'll probably like cordon off some of the outside areas as well. Just to make it look or feel less like we're in a cube area. And then this will go off to like the pond area, and this will go off to the boss and the danger zone over here, and then back this way still to the town. I think we are going to reconnect the other zone onto the town as well. We'll just have a lore reason why you can't go this way. There will probably be a quest or something that unlocks it. Anyways, I digress. That's not important for now. I gotta make it so that that casts on the mouse rather than just at the max distance in the direction of the mouse. Because you should be able to cast Nature's Fall on yourself. Hey, I just noticed that the Nature's Fall is abbreviated NFL. That never really registered for me before. Do 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 do. Oh, yeah, this might end up being a bit of a shorter day as well. It would be nice if we could get basically what I want to get for the actual goal today is I would like to get the initial plan document out. I would like to get it read through. Maybe we start creating some of the sub-phase files to actually set up the implementation plan. But I don't think we're going to do much more than that. We might not even get to the sub files yet because we will probably need to do a couple of iterations on the overall plan file. Today really just today and then probably the next few days aren't going to be very exciting days. They're just going to be planning, which I like. I get to spit all my ideas out and sort of run them past the filters, see where we end up, refine them down, keep adding in new information, and then continue on past that. I gotta watch my Streamlabs very closely when I'm actually up, increasing the sound of the, increasing the volume on the speakers, because I don't want my mic to really be picking up my speakers. It does look like we have our document. So, the quaternary implementation folder. We really did end up going with this. I knew I shouldn't have called it initial and secondary. I knew I was in for it the moment I wrote tertiary before in the previous phase as well. I was like, we're gonna end up with a quaternary, aren't we? Quaternary implement. I can't remember what's past. Pentary? What is for 5? It should be penta something, right? Anyways, the quaternary implementation folder is created. Here's what was written. Whoa, what are you doing adding all those phases already? Anyways, I guess we're going to be going through it a bit more slowly. Implementation plan, phases, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6. Hey, that's kind of nice. That'll be done in a week. Haha. Anyways, the plan documents the order of changes. Q1 first for persistence identity, Q2, 3, 4 in parallel, Q5 after Q4, Q6 after Q2. What? 24 outstanding questions that must be resolved before or during each phase, and verification steps per phase. The big open architectural question is Q17. Whoa, Q17. Map editor architecture standalone binary is recommended. Yes, we're going to be doing a standalone binary. So let's take a look. Yeah, looks good to me. No, we're not doing that. So, quaternary implementation plan. This is what I went and got the water for. Though I might have been speaking too much during the day already. Planning. August 2026, login persistence, resource expansion, mob rebalancing, environmental decoration, map editor, and UI overhaul. Overview. This phase builds on completed tertiary phase T1 through 11, leveling, gear, abilities, shops, and depth. The focus shifts from core gameplay scaffolding to content depth, world fidelity, and usability. 6 phases. So by the end of this phase, we should just have to do a little bit of cleanup on the login stuff, a little bit of networking magic, and then we'll actually be able to have a couple of other people thrown into this to test. Anyways, from core gameplay scaffolding to content depth, world fidelity, and usability. 6 phases run roughly in dependency order. Q2 to Q4 have no hard coupling and can interleave. The source of truth for this phase, the quaternary implementation plan. This file update it as questions are answered, scope shifts, or phases are reordered. Phase summary, Q1 login and saving. Username based login, persistent player identity, save reload flow, nothing. Nothing T11 complete. Oh, right, that's the dependent on. So Q2, multiple resources, 6 herb types, 5 ore types, 4 wood types, level gated nodes, failure rates, XP balancing, gather level, and meaningful to persist. Mob reworks, increased mob damage, HP ability density, correct XP values, T6 XP6 system, T4 mob configs. So these are already things that we did. Q4 environmental decor out of bounds, solid environmental decor objects, procedural out of bounds fill, nothing. Q5 map editor, drag and drop zone builder, place decor, export JSON or export zone JSON. Q4 decor types refined. That is definitely going to be its own standalone UI thing. Full skill UI, fishing, cooking, bravery, piety, chat box, examine UI, T6. You know, one of the things I don't know if it got expanded on was in here. Yeah, the auxiliaries kind of haven't been updated yet. Anyways, we might have to come back to that for... Oh, I can close a lot of these things related to refactor and notes and items. Anyways, we only need the one file open at the moment anyways. So, I'm just going to keep mining in the meantime. Outstanding questions. Answer to these questions must be resolved before or during the affected phase. Document answer here in line when decided. Login OAuth swap point. The login system should be easy to swap to OAuth. What is the concrete seam? A single function in the server, a config flag. Define this before implementation so the interface boundary is intentional, not retrofitted. Username uniqueness, case sensitive or case insensitive. If case insensitive, normalize on write, not on every read. Session tokens, does the server issue a short-lived token after username login, or is the username sent with every connection? Token preferred prevents replay, and define TTL. How long do I want the TTL to be? That's a good question. What happens to existing no ID sessions? Players currently get a fresh random UUID every connect. When log is enabled, do existing saves get migrated or wiped? They're gonna all get wiped. Reconnect on disconnect. If a player drops mid-session, can they reconnect to the same session, same zone position, or do they reload from last save? No. Add single function OAuth swap point. Single function in server. The no OAuth is only for testing. It will be testing locally, or not even testing locally, testing initially, would be redundant later. Username uniqueness should probably be case sensitive. Needs to be case sensitive. Session tokens. Short-lived token. See, I want to say we do auto refresh on tokens with a 1 hour. One hour TTL auto renew on one TPL for max of 12 hours before forced logout due to token expiry. Is there a better target TPL that is standard? No ID sessions will be deleted. They are all testing sessions. Players must be able to reconnect where they were at with minimal, preferably no loss. So that's the login. At least the first batch of questions that'll be answered for that one. Now Q2 resources, hazard, herb classification are Thornwool, Poison Thistle, Dragon Spines, harvestable by players, requiring gathering skills plus high level, or they overflow hazard nodes, not a gathering source. The ideation lists them under hazard, but doesn't clarify if they yield items. Node art, do sprites exist for new herb or wood types, or do they share existing atlas row with hint variation? Sprite slots need to be reserved in the Atlas schema before zones reference them. Fishing nodes. Fishing is a skill listed in Q6, but no fish resource types are in Q2's list. Are fishing nodes deferred to Q6, or should Q2 include fishing nodes alongside herbs, ore, and woods? Herbs, ores, and wood. Failure rate. Are per resource failure rate configured in the item node JSON or as a per skill level table failure rate of 0 at a required level plus gradual drop to cap at max level? Is the implied design confirm the formula? I don't really have a formula yet. I just know you have to reach the required level. Then you will have a failure rate based on a difficulty in the configuration, which the difficulty will be the base rate that is then scaled based on the level. So zone placement, which zones get which resource tiers. This is a zone config change. Draft the distribution before implementing to avoid back and forth edits. Forest early, ravine mid, mountains late for ores, forest for low tier wood, etc. Notes to add. Hazards do give resources. They only spawn as part of overflow, however. They only spawn as part of overflow, however. There will also be corresponding hazard resources for all other resource types. These are just the initial batches. Overflow clearing is required, or participation in overflow clearing is related to training the piety skill. Piety and bravery skills. Resource versus mobs. But bravery may or may not only be from helping with hard mode, boss, and pushing. help with pushing hard mode boss learning. Node art. New sprites will be needed in the atlas with all of the different node types, which means also needing to generate new placeholders for all of them. Fishing nodes added. The base fish will be, or the initial fish types will be sunfish level 1, perch level 5, bass level 15, pike level 30, muskie level 60. There we go. Sunfish, perch, bass, pike, muskie. Yeah, that seems about right. I'll throw a walleye in there as well. Level 40. Can you tell what order I ever learned to catch fish in? Gotta go muskie fishing at some point. There will be no places to fish currently. This will require the creation of the pond / beach areas. So we're gonna need the pond and beach areas. Needs UI editor, or needs zone editor. So fishing, cooking will have the same fish cooked in parallel. No cooking muskie. No cooking muskie. That's a hard and fast rule. Okay, so fishing nodes, failure rates. Failure rates will be will work as follows. Player must be at least the required skill level. Then the failure rate is based on a difficulty parameter in the config file. This acts as the base success rate, and on level, or acts as the base success rate and increases by success rate times current level minus required level. So for a success rate of 0.5, the player would succeed 50% of the time, and then when a level above would be 0.5 times max of success rate plus would be 0.5 plus 0.5 times 1 success rate squared 0.25 times 1 equals 0.75. Then 2 levels above would be 0.5 plus 0.25 times 2 equals 1, so they would never fail. This is something that can be revisited as long as the equation is kept to, or as long as the formula is kept to its own, is not varied, implementations. There we go. So that's failure rates, and then zone placements. Zones getting resources will be determined once the zones getting which resources will be determined by the editor, determined once at the zone editor. Until then, all nodes will be placeholder node. Then mob rework. So this is a lot of nodes that have to be added to this. Mob rework, XP for I don't know about reading through those first, but mob reworks XP formula is XP flat value per mob type in mob config base XP, or does it scale with player level? The XP system uses base XP confirm flat is the intent, or okay, I guess I should start. Or does it scale with the player level? The XP system uses the base XP confirm this flat is the intent, or document the formula of scale. Where am I? Where am I? I'm a little lost here. XP is flat per mob type based off of config. It does not scale. Ability count upper bound. How many simultaneous projectiles abilities should the hardest mob support? Need a number for physics, sim budget, and client rendering. At this time, the hardest non-boss mob will support 3 abilities. Future expectations for non-boss mobs may be double this. More importantly, the rate at which mobs cast abilities is going to be expected to be About 1 per second. On mid-high level. On mid-high level mobs, they might be casting 1 per second. Mobs will also need auto attacks. Correct XP source. What is the reference for correct XP values? This implies a table or formula exists. Documented here before. What does it mean, correct XP source? Mob rework, correct XP. Correct XP is just a reference to changing the amount to be given for each mob to balance the leveling rate. It requires play testing. And incremental changes. Okay, now environment decor. Server versus client collisions are solid environmental decor objects like rocks, big trees, collision obstacles on the server, blocking mob player pathfinding, or the client only visual feel. If server, they need entries in zone walkability data and path collision maps. Notes. They are server blocking mob slash player pathfinding. When in the zones, outside of the zones, they are just visual fill. Procedural decor algorithm. What seed algorithm governs procedural generation in the out-of-bounds zone area? Options: tile hash plus noise plus deterministic position, no state, or RNG seeded per zone session, different for each player. Deterministic is strongly preferred, so 2 clients in the same zone see identical decoration. Procedural decor. Procedural decor is going to be the same for every player. They will be determined based off of an initial seed, same for everyone, and the zone ID, zone group ID. This way the decor is the same for all players and all of the sub-zones in different areas, allowing for smooth and same decor across sub-zone boundary transitions. Decor density is the density configurable per zone, or is it a global constant? The ideation says configurable per. Decor density will be configurable per zone. Decor tile sets need to be definable as a YAML, so that I could have, say, a forest decor, which can be reused for different zones, but different zones, and outlines what types of visual decor is created as part of the procedural generation. i.e. the forest and the town. Or I could have a mountain decor.
These files define the base values of what tile sets are used, the the base seeds for the procedural operation, and the density values. All right, so map editor. Notes to add. I'm just going to start with this. It needs to be a standalone tool. Response. Able to loan zone configs, decor configs, mobs, etc. But doesn't need any of the collision logic, combat logic, etc. So, standalone tool or in client is the map editor, a separate binary command map editor, a web UI served by the server or embedded in the game behind a flag. This determines the entire architecture. Standalone binary or web UI are strongly preferred. Embedding adds bloat to the shipped client. Needs to be a standalone tool in command map. Output format: the editor saves zone config JSON files. Are these the exact same files the server loads at startup, or does it produce intermediate format that gets compiled? Direct output is simpler and preferred. Output format is direct. This is only a development tool to save me time from manually editing configs and give me a visual while editing them. Undo, redo required for MVP or deferred. No undo, redo needed. Multi-segment zones. Does editor support creating zone groups? Yes. Editor must support multi-zone groups and able to switch between zone groups via within the editor. Okay, so there, and then UI cleanup. Fishing, cooking mechanics. Fishing and cooking are being added to the skill UI. Are these skills fully implemented in Q6, or is the UI stubbed and added with the Q6 mechanics deferred? The design doc shows fishing as a gathering skill and cooking as a refinement adjacent skill. What are the minimal mechanics needed for Q6? So, notes that. Natos. Got Natos to add. And I'm out of water again. This sucks. Notes to add. The notes to add for Q2 for fishing / cooking skill. Minimum required are add a fishing pole sold by Jack. Ability to create a fishing node. Small 87, thank you. I think I know who that is, but I'm not going to say anything because reasons. How have you been? How are you doing? Ability to create a fishing node and cook fish on a fire. or similar. Node to be added or created with logs and refinery. Things have been good. Things have been busy, and right now busy is good. How's the development? The development's going good. Here's a little peek at what the game looks like right now. I have a mix of filler. I have a mix of filler and a mix of temporary sprites. So I've got my skills over here. I got my character with. I got quick time spells. I got charge spells, I've got chain spells where you gotta keep going to keep them buffed up. Got my mobs for fighting. I'm gonna run over to the boss as well and show you that, because that's got one of the mechanics that I really like. It's got a learning mechanic that actually buffs the boss. It's gonna take me a moment to run over there. Actually, the learning mechanic also gives me stuff to modify my abilities. Right, I've gone through 3 full phases of development so far to get to this point. It runs off of a server-client architecture, and now I'm preparing the phase 4, which is mainly some development tools and some skills and stuff that are missing that'll be needed for sort of world completeness, or to make it actually feel like a world, and so that I can actually make changes without having to worry too much about how long it actually takes me to make the changes. So there we go, got a crystal. I'm gonna get out of the boss room before it respawns. So you'll see here now that this is the stats for how the fight went, how many abilities it used, how much it hit. Here's what the boss buffed itself. It's very rudimentary at the moment. I haven't actually wired in the full way that this is gonna work. But you see it got an HP buff, it got some cooldown reduced, and it got some cast time reduced. And then I also have a danger area, which is just up here, which I don't really feel like going through because I don't want to die and lose my ore, which is kind of able to be used to used to be sold. So if I modify one of these abilities as well, you'll see that now there's an extra quick time thing that has to be done. So that, oh, there we go, there's the new zone. That is my very quick spark notes on what's sort of implemented right now and what I've got going on here. I think this is a safe-ish place to mine this. So I am going to then minimize that again and keep going through the plan for this. So that's the fishing and cooking mechanics node to be added. Or created with logs and refinery. Good man. A lot of backend seems really laid down. Yeah, I basically started with the backend and I'm moving forward. I'm like, the visuals don't really matter to me. They can be temporary for pretty much until the end of time. And as long as the game functions well and is actually fun to play, that's what really matters to me. Got to make sure the mechanics are on point. Bravery and piety training. The game mechanic doc notes bravery trained via combat-related era upkeep and piety via non-combat. What is the incremental event that awards XP? Boss defeat, tick zone, dwell time, specific mob kills. This needs to be defined before implementing. Yeah, considering one of the other games I play is Realm of the Mad God, which is just a pixel art one as well. So, who needs graphics? I just need fun gameplay. Nice. I can't believe you're doing quests again. That's the one thing I can't be asked to do. Can't be asked to quest. So, these are touched on a little bit in resources, I think. Piety and bravery touched a bit on in the resources notes. The goal is for these to be reward XP for helping to prevent era reset. So, clearing overflow zones, boss defeats on hard mode, etc. What is the incremental event that awards XP? This needs to be defined before implementing. There is no one specific event for this. Specific resources, i.e. hazard / boss, need to have a field in their configuration for these specific types of XP rewards. So piety and bravery, and then chat box scope is this server-side broadcast. All players in the same zone see it. Zone global or server global. What message length limit are player names displayed? Any moderation tools needed at MVP? Chat. Oh boy, chat. Need zone. Need zone specific at the start. Player names are displayed. Need player to player messaging. Moderation tools not needed now. Rather, make sure all messages are written to a chat log file. Moderation tools not needed for now. Message length at 100 stars. To come back to. Let me get back to my work. Yeah, thank you. It's really great to see you around. Hope you're doing well as well, and have a good time on the Osers. Hope the questing goes well. Really great having you stop by. I can't stress it enough. Chatbox scope, skill config files, break skills into config files in render HUD. What exactly gets extracted? The skills display config, name, color, or the full rendering logic. Clarify scope before implementation. Skill config files, basic. We need to outline the name, the skill name, and the resources which can be used, obtained at specific with the that's Fremenic Trials right now. Oh, fun. Barbarian Assault. Learned yesterday that you just learned that you had to do that. That's unfortunate. I'm sure it won't be as bad as shoot, I died. I gotta run back and see if I can get my stuff before it despawns. I don't know how long it's been since I died, and I don't even remember how long stuff will stay on the ground for before despawning. Like I said, I didn't know if I was actually safe there. Oh, never mind. New era just started. My stuff's gone. Oh well, this is just for testing anyways. Oh wait, I put the crystal in here anyways. It's fine. It doesn't matter that I died. I'm actually gonna remove this out of here and put it in throw hatchet. I'm gonna go and chop the tree to get a little bit more gold. Okay, I can minimize that again. So that's skill config files. Not those other parts covered there that need to be included in the config files. But the important part is having a file per skill and outlining what the unlocks are in the config. There we go. So then phase deal login, and how am I only halfway through the wild it's taken this long? taking me an hour and a half to go through this. Holy, this might take me a bit longer than I expected. Phase detail, login and saving, status not started, T11 completed, Q2. Summary: the player currently receives a fresh random UUID each connect and their state is not reloaded. This phase adds a username-based login handshake before the game loop starts. The client sends a username, the server looks up or creates a player record, then returns the player's persisted ID. All downstream save load paths already go through persistence backend. Only the connection handshake and the session setup need to change. The system must be designed so the username lookup function is a single seam that can be swapped to OAuth without touching any other call site. Rough order: define login wire. Error, username, return outstanding questions 1 to 5. Must be resolved before step 1. Notes to add. Login needs to be added on a new screen when client is opened. Multiple resources, not started yet. Phase 2: expand the gathering beyond the current single tier herb or wood nodes to the full multi-tier system with level requirements. This is primarily a data expansion, zone configs, items, atlas slots, and the server side level gating in role gather and XP rebalancing. New node types, so these just cover the things that we went over before. The rough order: define the item configs for all new resource outputs, add atlas sprite slots and a new node type. Add node definitions to zone configs with level requirements. Server role gather level gating, player below required level gets failure. No resources, reduced XP. Gets failure, no resource. Server failure rate formula per node config or global skill level table. Resolve Q9. Rebalancing: gather XP values across all node types. Client render new node sprite frames. Outstanding questions 6 to 10. So I've already done all the questions, so that's not too much for me to worry about, which actually means we're pretty close to getting through this document. And oh boy, am I looking forward to being done, because my voice is starting to betray me a bit. Mob reworks. Summary: mob value or mob configs need rebalancing, more projectiles, higher ability density, faster cooldowns, more HP and XP values, and matching the level curve. This is mostly JSON config changes with possible mob AI additions for the extra abilities. Scope: increase all active mob configs in data mobs, increase projectile count for ranged mobs, add secondary abilities to the mobs that currently have only one. Tighten ability cooldowns, raise HP pools to match intended difficulties, set base XP per mob to match a reference XP table. No. Resolve question 11 through 13. Rough order: derive reference XP. Audit mat each mob against reference. Notes: add no reference XP table. Audit each mob against the reference. Apply HP and XP changes. Apply projectile ability additions. Playtesting pass. Adjust based on feel. Environment decor and out of bounds. This is the one I'm actually looking forward to the most. Depends on nothing blocks. Okay, can run in parallel. Summary: 2 related features. 1, solid environment decor, non-harvestable objects that can be placed in zone configs and optionally block navigation. Out of bounds fill. Instead of rendering the out of bounds area as a flat dark tint, procedurally generate decor objects within the player's viewport in the non-walkable area. Scope: define the environmental decor struct in the zone config. Server load decor from zone config, including the zone state delta to clients. Client render decor objects from Atlas using correct sprite frames. Client procedural out of bounds fill deterministic hash based placement of decor sprites outside walkable tiles within the viewport. Per zone config for decor density. Rough order: add decor, atlas, rows, and item types. define environment decor in zone config JSON schema, server load and send decor list in delta zone state, render place decor, client procedural, out of bounds fill, resolve Q15 algorithm before this step, zone config per zone density settings, outstanding, question 14 to 16. I've already answered all the questions for this, so we're just double checking the summaries of these and the sort of minimum scope and whatnot. Map editor, nothing downstream. Summary, replace direct zone JSON file editing with a visual drag and drop tool. The editor reads and writes the same zone config JSON the server loads, so no intermediate format is needed. Scope and architecture depend heavily on the answer to Q17. Minimum scope, load existing zone config, pan and zoom in tile grid view. Click drag / drag to set walkable, non-walkable tiles. Place and remove environment decor objects, set zone properties, save back to zone JSON. Rough order, resolve the questions. I've already answered all those. Implement the chosen architecture skeleton, zone loading and tile grid rendering, walkability, paint tool, decor placement tool, zone property editor, save to JSON, zone group support. Outstanding, I've already answered all of these. And then the UI cleanup, examine text, UI chat box are independent of Q2. 4 independent subtasks share this phase. 6A, skill UI expansion, add fishing, cooking, bravery, and piety rows to the stats panel. Skills tab requires the skills to exist in the XP system and for their levels XP to be set in the Delta player XP. Fishing and cooking need minimal mechanics defined. Bravery and piety need their training events defined. Skill config externalization. Extract skill display skill display? What? Skill display config icon atlas. Icon atlas display name ordering from render HUD into JSON config files loaded at startup. Goal, adding a new skill only requires a config file, not a code change. Improve the examine text in UI. Improve the examine panel. Currently shows raw examine text, needs better visual treatment. Formatted text area, item icons, close button. Also convert implement text wrapping for examine slash dialogue. Well, then chat box, new server side broadcast channel for player type messages, requires server delay or server relay. On message received, broadcast to all players in relevant scope. Resolve question 23. It's already been done. Client wide input widget. Text field, send on, enter all chat history display, new wire types, rough order, doesn't really matter too much. Dependency graph gives us, come on, can't you just draw this well? Anyways, so we've got the dependency graph for that. Okay, this took it add star git commit initial planning document. So this took us a bit longer than I was expecting. I am going to kick off Claude to just get some stuff done before that, but I'm going to be ending stream here momentarily anyways. I have added a lot of notes to add sections to the implementation plan. Read the answers to the questions, update all of the documentation to support this, or documentation given these answers, and highlight any additional outstanding questions / decisions that need to be made. So I am going to run this, get whatever output this gives me here, and then we will go over this tomorrow, what changes are actually made for it, what requirements this brings us. Oh man, I'm looking real washed out. Oh, that's too dark. That's too dark. I don't need to be playing around with my camera. Well, not even with the camera, with the lighting at the moment, even though I can. Where's the cycle one on here? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What? There it is. Anyways, orange. Anyways, that is going to be it for today. We've got an initial, we've taken our brainstormed ideas and we've converted them into initial plan documentation. We've updated our architecture documentation as well. Now we're going to be continuing to iterate on this documentation and planning for probably tomorrow. We'll read through some of the other phases things, and then we'll get actually implementing on some of these things. I'm looking forward to a lot of the things that are coming in this phase. They should be pretty good additions to this, especially the map editor. Map editor and new skills are going to be top notch. Anyways, that is all for me today. I am not able to keep talking too much more. So, all right. Thanks, everyone.